Hi, my name is Mike. I go by Mike__wave on Twitch.tv. And today we are going to be doing a second submission for RE4. The first was New Game Pro, where we play for the main game on the professional difficulty. Now we're going to be doing Separate Ways, which is a side campaign that was released with the PS2 version of the game and came out in all subsequent versions, where we play like this mini campaign as Ada Wong, who's like a side character in the game and also a fan favorite. We basically see the main game, like some of the more major events of the main game, but from her perspective instead of Leon's. We basically get to see how one goes through her eyes. And let's go ahead and get into it. This is how the run starts. We just select game start. So unlike New Game Pro, this category has a lot more menuing in it. Like there's 5 chapters, and in between those chapters we have to skip through a lot of garbage. This is one of the downfalls of that category, in my opinion. Or this category, I should say. So right here. Alright, good. So right there, I needed to wait a little bit to throw that grenade. This is kind of similar to how the village works in the main game, where we throw a grenade to kill a certain amount of enemies, and that allows the chicken on the roof of that house to spawn. Which, moment. I need to buy a TMP from this one merchant right here. It is the only merchant we are going to stop by on this category, as opposed to New Game, where we stop at like nearly every merchant. But as I was saying, the way that room works is you just have to kill a certain amount of enemies for the chicken to spawn on the roof, and that'll allow Ada to use her hook shot, which is an ability only she has, to go onto the roof and pick up the key. Uh-oh, I might have got unlucky here. It's okay. There's a bit of RNG with this room right here. You can just get randomly body blocked. It's not a big deal, though. Not a big deal. We didn't take any damage. That's the important part. But, yeah, we just have to kill a certain amount of enemies, and we can go up on the roof. Oh, boy, these enemies are rushing. So something I should explain right off the bat is that as opposed to the professional difficulty for New Game Pro, this category has a difficulty adjustment because it is by default put on the normal difficulty as opposed to easy or pro, where there is a lot less like changes in the difficulty. Like pro, for example, the difficulty will stay at the max value the entire time, no matter what happens. But because this is by default put on normal and we can't change it off normal, the difficulty will be changing throughout this run based on how well we perform. Basically, how many times we get hit, how many shots we miss, if we die at all, etc., etc., etc. The game is tracking that and adjusting the difficulty accordingly. So you're gonna see me take some hits intentionally, and that's for DA. So at the beginning, I took a hit from that one guy, and then I took another hit, or I got grabbed after the hit. And me getting hit twice there essentially helped lower my DA enough for how low we want it, basically, so that the enemies won't do anything kind of dumb. We want it to be low for this part. Later on, though, we are going to want our difficulty high. Here, let me go ahead and do this manip right here. So unlike New Game, Separate Ways has a lot of parts where... Oh, okay. So, unlike a New Game... Uh-oh. Ada, come on. Oh, boy. Alright. Let me... So, unlike the main game, there are a lot of manipulations you can do with enemies based on movement in this category. So, stuff like getting certain enemies to move in a certain spot based on, like, what lines you take and, like, how you pass enemies. So one example you're going to see here, you're going to see me do right here. That was the end of the first chapter, by the way, out of 5. The second one you're going to see me do here is I'm going to pass this one enemy over here to the right. Hopefully, he sidestepped, but it was okay. So me going to the right of that enemy is going to cause one of these two enemies to point right now. Yep, the guy in the back pointed. And that's going to make it way easier to pass these guys right here. So I can just go ahead and pass them all without any issues at all. And you're going to see me do that a couple more times throughout the run. Just like these very, very subtle manipulations for the enemies, just so we can get past them. No problemo. even though it doesn't really seem like much, manipulating the enemies and doing proper movement in these categories, and RE4 in general, is one of the biggest like learning curves for picking up the game, I would say. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and just run past that like army of bear traps that are on the ground, and we're gonna make our way over to where we need to go. So for this chapter of the separate ways, we're basically like tracking Leon around, finding out where he's going. And this is like the end of like 1-1 in the main game, like the first chapter. We're gonna find like Leon being taken captive. All right here, you're gonna see me do another manipulation. I'm gonna run to this part of the house right here. That's gonna cause an enemy inside kill himself with dynamite. And then after that, we're just gonna kill these two. Jump inside. Go here. All right. So because I ran against a house, that one enemy with the dynamite inside just threw it against himself and basically just killed himself. And because he threw it inside the house, I wasn't staggered at all by it. We used to throw a grenade at a proper angle for that house right there. We still do it for Separate Ways Plus, which is like the Separate Ways, or the New Game Plus equivalent for Separate Ways. But for normal Separate Ways, like vanilla Separate Ways, we did find it like faster to just like use the TMP to kill those two enemies and get the dynamite guy to kill himself. So there's a lot of downtime in this run, as you can see. We're just running from like point A to point B. There's a little bit less action compared to New Game Pro, I would say. That said, the later chapters for this category do start to get very intense. That is where a lot of resets for this category happen later on compared to earlier on, I would say. The first few chapters in Separate Ways are always like pretty consistent. Not always, but like pretty consistent. This part right here is an example of a meme room, I would call it. Okay, there, we got through that. The enemies, because there are so many enemies and like a lot of them just behave kind of randomly, it can make that room a little bit inconsistent. But luckily we got past that without a hitch. It's not a big deal if something does happen though. Because we're locked to normal, like none of the enemies can really, at least at this point in the run, can't really put me at a caution, which is like yellow health. So getting hit once is fine. Plus we have a free first aid in case anything does happen. So this guy right here, it's possible for us to, am I gonna get it? Nice. So if you getting staggered by that dynamite is something that will sometimes happen, and other times it won't though. I'm not 100% where I stand on it. I can usually get past that dynamite without getting staggered. That's kind of like a major point where people can just randomly lose time on this chapter. One of the only points. This is like probably the most consistent chapter in this category, chapter 2. Compared to the later chapters, where we'll talk about it when we get there, but the later chapters for this category do have a lot of RNG, I would say. Because they have a lot of crossbow enemies, and the crossbow enemies in this game are just very, very inherently random. Okay. So right here, we have like a mini-boss of sorts for the Ada campaign where we have to fight one of the Bella sisters, as they're called. They're these ladies with the bandages on their face with the chainsaw. Okay, hopefully I did this right. Yep, I did. Nice. And as you can see, we just camp with the TMP. And that's how we do that. So I am going to take a hit here intentionally to get a fast reload, because at the end of each chapter, you do get healed. So I want to reload my gun for the next chapter. So I will take a hit there. Right here, we're going to do some more subtle movement right here. So if I do this turn right here at a wide angle like this, it's going to cause this guy to point and the guy in the back to throw his axe, which is going to allow us to get past him. They normally don't do those type of attacks. The guy who pointed usually will not point if you do a sharp turn. It's one of those like very subtle things in this category you have to learn movement-wise. So we basically took that massive detour to go kill that chainsaw lady just so we can get the key to activate this gondola right here. And we're gonna go meet up with Leon, who is at the cabin. That said, Leon still doesn't know that we're here, so we are gonna be meeting up with another character who is with Leon instead, I should say. So some more downtime right here as we just make our way there from point A to point B. This category is going to get a lot more action heavy though, starting with the next chapter. The next chapter is a pretty short one. It's the only chapter of Separate Ways that takes place inside the castle portion of the game. But it is it's very brief, but a lot happens during it. It's, I don't know if I would call it short and sweet. More like a short and very painful, because it is where the run starts to get very RNG due to the presence of crossbow enemies. Like, a lot of crossbow enemies. Oh, I did not mean to get hit by this guy. Alright, that's fine, though. We can just run past. The end of the chapter is right here, so I'm going to get automatically healed here, so it's not a big deal that happened. Kind of my fault, though, for being too close to that Gigante's feet. Normally, we just run past him without a hitch. Alright, so right here, we're in the castle portion. We're in the maze. So there's a couple of factors here. Give me one moment. There's a couple of factors here that allow us to get out. So, for example, the way we get out is we have to kill a certain amount of enemies. And also, we need to... oh boy, I'm going to need to reload early. I must have wasted a lot of ammo somewhere or not picked some up. Killed him. But yeah, we have to kill all these enemies and also get the treasure that is inside each treasure chest in order to activate the cutscene, which will unlock the main front gate for the maze. All right, I think I'm gonna play it a little bit safe here and reload before I get to the next enemy. I really do hope I have enough ammo here. I think I do, but it is getting kind of scary here. Uh-oh. I'll do that instead. That works. Normally, I don't run out of ammo here. I don't know what happened. I might have wasted a little bit extra compared to how much I usually use. All right. So, with that last enemy and looting that last chest, we're going to spawn this wave of enemies right here. And that will allow us to leave the maze. As you can see, that enemy missed me, like, point blank. The flail enemies usually have massive hitboxes, but... because my difficulty is low enough, they cannot track me that hard, so I'm able to just run past a lot of them. You're going to see me do it here as well. Just these enemies just aren't able to track Ada. A couple other things I should mention, by the way. One, Ada is much faster than Leon. Like, her base movement speed is much, much faster than Leon's. And also, she does have a smaller hitbox than Leon. Leon is pretty fat in comparison. Leon's a big boy in comparison. So Ada is able to dodge some stuff that Leon can't, and also because she's fast. Might get hit here. All right, I got lucky. Usually you get hit there, but lucky us we didn't. All right, gonna shoot that guy to stop him. I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up this herb for safety. I normally wouldn't pick this up in a PB attempt, but I kind of want to play this on the safe side because we are getting to the portion of the game where the game turns into kind of like a bullet hell type game. All right, so it's kind of similar to NG Pro. We get out of the cage area by just shooting the lock. I'm gonna go ahead and do the movement this way, and running against the door a little bit will make it so I can stun all these enemies and just run right past them. And right here, I'm gonna take a shot intentionally. And the reason I took the shot intentionally is, again, to lower my difficulty. And also because we're at the end of the chapter, right there. And that is the only castle portion in separate ways. And we're going to get automatically healed at the beginning here. For our difficulty a little bit lowered. We want our difficulty low so these enemies don't do anything dumb. I'm going to go ahead and bait that guy out. And we're just going to run past all these guys. This is where the run begins to get very hectic, though. I will say. You'll just randomly get hit here a lot. Like that. That guy sometimes cannot track you. Uh-oh. Ada, you need to go to the door, man. Okay. Very interesting. Okay. Well, I get hit by this guy. Nope. Okay, that's good. That crossbow guy hits you a lot of the time. He's one of the most random enemies in this entire run. Oh, I need that, actually. Okay. So, yeah, this is the part of the game where you begin to just get hit by, like, really random stuff. Enemies just will, like, randomly be able to hit you. You have a lot of projectiles, and projectiles in this game are just very random in how they work. Alright. Gonna do some more manip here. By doing the movement this way, we can go ahead and get past this mob of enemies here. And we're gonna go to this cannon. First off, we're gonna go ahead and equip our grenade. Then we're gonna get on this turret right here. And this is It's so hard to aim this. Ironically enough, it is very hard to aim this with a keyboard and mouse. Much harder than you think. Okay. So this is the first part of the run that is like truly unique to Ada. You never go on a boat section for Leon's campaign. So you only ever do this part as Ada. I should mention. So this, if you've never seen this part of the game, that's why. It's because this isn't a part of the main game. Unlike a lot of those other areas which are reused from the main game, this one is entirely original. Same with the next area coming up. Okay. Oh, enemies are acting kind of weird here. I'm hoping I don't get hit up here. Okay, good. The enemies behaved a little bit weird there. All right. But yeah, this is the portion of the run where we start to deal with like lots and lots of enemies, as you can see. So we're just gonna keep running here, and we're basically gonna pick up this other activation key to get on this other turret right here. I'm gonna get an additional herb right here for safety. And we're gonna get on this turret. So I'm gonna do a little thing here where I get in and out of this turret to reset the position. We're just gonna shoot these turrets right here, get in and out, and that'll allow us to shoot that. And then we're gonna shoot this cannon, and then we're just gonna drop down. Hopefully I don't get hit here, because there is that turret that is still up that can just randomly hit you. We're fine though. We're at the point now where like we should be okay for the rest of this area. And we're just gonna keep on going. If you want to play it really safe, you can destroy all 5 of those turrets when you're using the cannon. But you only need to hit 4 of them, really, to be safe. All right. As you can see, Ada is able to run past, like, even with higher difficulty, Ada is able to run past, like, a lot of enemies that Leon just can't because she's so small and fast. Okay. Yeah, we should be good. Nice. Pretty decent boat section. That is one of the harder portions of the run, I would say. That went pretty well. And we're going to move on to the next area, which is also unique to Ada. And that's this highway section. You might remember this part of the game as when you were riding the truck with Ashley. I'm going to do some manip there so the shield guy doesn't get me. And I'm going to do a quick turn right here so this baton guy can't get me. It's pretty close. They get pretty close to hitting you. Like this guy right here, I'm entirely invincible while I'm doing this animation right here. Same with that. As you can see, we're kind of abusing iframes very heavily here to avoid a lot of these enemies. All right, please. Oh, this is unlucky. I might get hit here. Okay, nice. I got lucky. So if 2 enemies are at that door, there's a possibility you get hit by the axe in the back, but we're kind of lucky. We're lucky the enemies behaved. Okay. Very good. This is a very good section, actually. Wow. That was actually very good. Okay. That is a very big reset point for me personally in this category. It is very easy to get hit at that part, and the fact that we got through it unscathed is very good. Okay, 2 more shield guys that we have to dodge here. Oh boy. Whew. Okay. I got kind of unlucky there, and one of the so usually the 2 shield guys are kind of synced in their movement. That one of the shield guys just ran ahead of the other one and just did a very fast attack, which caused the 2 enemies to be very unsynchronized, which made it that made it pretty close for comfort right there. I should have gotten hit, but we're okay. All right, we have the Krauser knife fight here, but all we need to do is do the shot that Ada does in the cutscene to save Leon. The entire point of that chapter was basically to go save Leon. And now we're on to the final chapter of Separate Ways, which is the military portion. This is by far the most random part of the run. As you're going to see, just because there are so many crossbow guys. I dare anybody to count how many crossbow enemies there are. You are going to lose track. There are so many. Like, just look how many enemies there are, and look how many of them are crossbow enemies. It is actually kind of absurd. I want this herb, please. Okay, so right here, we're supposed to fight all these enemies in like this little miniature cage fight, but we're just going to use our grenades to deal with them pretty easily. I'm going to wait until there's 3 enemies down. I got grabbed there, which is kind of unfortunate, but we'll be okay. And now we're going to shoot the rest of these enemies with our TMP, basically. Yeah, that part's a little weird. Okay. So here comes the random parts. Right here, we're going to shoot this crossbow guy, because if you don't... Come on, the TMP can be a little bit weird sometimes with the recoil. But yeah, if you don't shoot this crossbow guy, he will hit you 100% of the time when you come down that zip line. So we need to shoot him, like absolutely need to shoot him. All right. Right here. Oh, okay. This is getting a little bit sketch. All right. And right here, we're going to use these flash grenades to basically deal with all these enemies. The flash grenades are powerful on basically every category of this game. Hopefully I don't get hit. Good. So I'm just going to go ahead and use that flash to deal with these JJs right here, which are these guys with the mini guns. And I'm going to grab some ammo on our way here. We're going to go up here. And a little right here. We're going to go ahead and flash them both again. And hopefully, this is the part where you hope you don't get hit as you're going to the store. There's not really much to explain here other than, like, just don't get hit. Forehead. All right. Am I good? All right. Good. That was actually a very good section, too. All right. And some more crossbow guys to get past. I call this, in my split names, I call this entire chapter the Crossbow Dude Army. As you're seeing, one crossbow guy right there firing at us. One more crossbow guy, and then another one in the back. It's just insane how many crossbow guys there are in this category. At least this chapter. I moved to that guy's right to go ahead and dodge that. If you go to that guy's left, there's a high possibility that you get hit. And we're going to go to the cutscene right here where Leon chokes Ada. Oh, I was... Some old muscle memory right there. But we're going to dodge another crossbow guy right here by moving to the left. And we're going to move our way to the Krauser boss fight. Krauser somehow lived from the main events of the game, so we're going to kill him for good here with our knife, as Leon would. And we're going to take a second to reload here as well. Okay. Use the knife again. Grab this other herb right here. I'm just very low on... I've been low on TMP ammo this entire time, which is actually kind of scary. For the next part, at least. But as you can see, using the knife, you can deal with Krauser very easily. He basically moves into the knife by himself. The Krauser in separate ways is just, like, not as smart as the Krauser from the Leon campaign. Alright. So now we have the main boss of Separate Ways. This boss is unique to Ada. And we're going to go ahead and deal with him right here. I'm going to go ahead and use the ramp right here to get multiple knife hits on Sadler. This is actually a very good fight. He should die here. Yep. Very, very good fight. But yeah, so... Normally, you aren't allowed to stab his eye that often, but because I'm standing on a ramp, the game gets bugged, and you can basically slash his eye with your knife as many times as you want, which actually does an insane amount of damage. Oh, boy. I should have been able to go ahead and deal with that guy. Luckily, we got plenty of heals here, so we should be good. This is the final portion right here, where you move to give Leon the rocket launcher he uses to kill Sadler. So we're just making our way there. This part's pretty simple, actually, though. There is a little bit of randomness to it. Time is going to be coming up as soon as we hit the rocket launcher. Hopefully that causes that guy to miss me. He could hit you up here, potentially. Whew, okay. We're good. All right. So, yeah, time is going to be coming up in a little bit. We're going to go ahead and use our hook shot right here to zip across to the other side. As you can see, Leon fighting Sadler right there. We're going to give him that rocket launcher to end the fight, and time is going to be now. And that is Separate Ways. Very, very brief, short category compared to Compared to the main game, not nearly as much content, but it is a very, very fun category. It's very skill-based. Also, a lot of randomness involved. It's a very, very fun category for runners to delve into. This time right here is actually very good. I'm actually a little bit upset. This run right here is like, I think like 13 seconds slower than my PB. This is an insanely good run, actually. I'm very mad. But I'm a little bit upset that such a good run was used for a submission. But at the same time, I'm kind of glad. Hopefully, people were able to understand what I was going for here. There's so much to talk about in the category that is so short, but it's a very enjoyable. I think everybody who liked RE4, like the main campaign, liked Ada's campaign as well. It's just a very fun thing to do after you finish the game, and I think it'd be great to show to a large audience of people. So yeah, thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed the submission and the video. Thank you.